Hi, my name is Brad Yotty. I'm a physical therapist with Specialized Physical Therapy. I'm here today to talk about heat illness. Heat illness is when the body's core temperature rises above the normal of 98.6 degrees. It can affect any athlete and prevent them from performing at their best. Heat illness can be broken down into 4 different categories, from least serious to medical emergency. They start at the disorder known as heat cramps. Heat cramps can be cramping of the legs, groin, abdomen, back, sometimes arms, but mostly in the lower extremities. Heat cramps can be treated by removing the person from their activity into a cooler environment, rehydrating, cooling, and stretching techniques. The next category is known as heat syncope or fainting. Heat syncope is thought to be a result of vasodilation. Vasodilation is the process where the blood flows more into the extremities and away from the core of the body, and less oxygen in blood is available to provide oxygen to the brain and the internal organs, causing fainting. Heat syncope can be treated in the same way as heat cramps in removing the person from activity, returning them to a cooler environment, rehydrating, using cooling techniques, and monitoring them for progression into the more serious conditions of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Heat exhaustion is the next stage of heat illness and can be characterized by the symptoms of irritability, fatigue, profuse sweating, cold, clammy skin. Heat exhaustion can be treated, again, removing the person from activity, returning them to a cooler environment, using cooling techniques, rehydrating, and monitoring for progression to heat stroke. Heat exhaustion can also be treated with IV fluids. Heat stroke is a medical emergency. The person with heat stroke will become confused, can lose consciousness, and will show some of the similar signs to heat exhaustion. Generally with heat stroke, the person will also show very red, hot skin and show little to no sweating. If you believe someone is suffering from heat stroke, the first thing to do is call 911 and activate the emergency medical system. Then remove the person from activity to a cooler environment. Try aggressive cooling techniques that may include ice baths, or anything that you can use to get the person cool. Have them rehydrate by drinking fluids if they are coherent enough to do so, and keep them calm while waiting for emergency medical services. Next, I want to talk about some techniques to avoid heat illness altogether. Keeping yourself hydrated can help to increase your amount of sweat, which is the body's natural process of cooling itself. Using cooling techniques anytime that you are exercising in heat can also be a good tip. Using cool cloths, icing, fans, and making sure that you're drinking plenty of cold water can help keep the body cool. Wearing light, breathable clothing can help wick moisture away from the body and keep it cool. Wearing sunscreen can also be a good tip. If you do get a sunburn, it can increase the temperature of the skin and increase the body's core temperature. Allow for plenty of recovery time between activity. During the summer, many young athletes will have days where they are participating in tournaments and have 1, 2, or sometimes even 3 games. Allowing 1 to 2 hours of recovery time in between games will allow the body's temperature to be reduced, as well as allow time for rehydration in between activity. Schedule events smart. Avoid the times of day where the heat is the worst, between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Allow a person time for acclimation. Acclimation is a big term for allowing them to become used to exercising in the heat. If you're planning on doing 2-a-day practices, allow 1 week of 1-a-day practices prior to starting 2-a-days. And the last is to educate yourself on the signs and symptoms of heat illness and the tips that I've just listed in order to avoid heat illness. If you have any questions regarding heat illness or any other sports health topic, feel free to call us at Specialized Physical Therapy at 402-939-7939. Thank you.